This is also the time, my friends, that I didn't realize that this is going to be the foundational moment where I was going to learn a lot of teachings that I was going to share with the world. I want to share with you one of these teachings. She often would emphasize the importance of mioichito and helping one another to try to get ahead. Because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're brothers and sisters, regardless of where we come from, how we were raised, the language we speak. We should be helping each other to get ahead. So she would often ingrain that into our minds at such a young age. Try to get along. She would also further illustrate, each and every one of us in this room has a unique path. Some of you had to overcome tremendous odds to be in this room. Some of you had to overcome hardships, trauma, relationship difficulties, abandonment, some may abuse. Everyone has a story. She would say, don't judge another human being. You don't know what they've gone through. Just because someone doesn't treat you right, that doesn't mean that that's who they really are. People get conditioned from the world to become a certain way. Be the one that speaks light, love into other people. We only get sometimes a split second, 10 seconds, one encounter, maybe a few meetings with certain people. What are they going to say about you? What's that ripple effect you're going to create in this world? It starts with one interaction, how we speak to each other, how we communicate. So my kokum would take us to these ceremonies, these cultural events, where we weren't permitted to go run around as children. We'd have to sit there. There'd be a pipe carrier, a ceremonial leader, and we weren't allowed to look at each other, for example. We weren't allowed to stare. This is where the first teaching came in. So automatically we were forced to bow our head and to become listeners. So you may see that same mentality, the same automatic programming with some of the First Nations speakers and communicators that you'll meet at events like this, or with your clients. You'll notice these things. That's why we have to take time to understand each other. We do that by listening to each other's stories, taking time to sit at tables like this, at the networking events, the breakout sessions, talk to each other, talk to different people. By the time I was in grade 2, my mother was able to get us a little 2-bedroom house not far from my kokum's house. And by the time we were there, myself, my siblings, were all hanging out in this house now. It felt like a mansion, it felt like a big home, little 2-bedroom house. And I remember getting into this house, taking my backpack again to another home, putting it down there, and suddenly my mom says to me, son, there's your room, right around that corner. I said, right on, finally I get my own room, I get my own space, right on. And I was sitting there for a few minutes, and I remember thinking, I kind of felt guilty. I felt guilty that, I had my own room and I have my other siblings over here. I come back out and I said, Mom, where's Kendra, Farah, Mersha going to sleep? She's like, the other room over there. And I kind of felt guilty again. I said, well, Mom, where are you going to sleep? It's okay. I'll sleep on that couch, right where my arm is hanging on. From grade 1 to grade 12, she slept on that couch. The reality is, my friends, someone sacrificed for all of us in this room. And sometimes we forget. Life gets so busy, it gets chaotic, it gets uncertain. We go through stress, we go through struggles, and we forget about the struggle to even be in this moment with each other. To have the moment to breathe, to have a beautiful meal this morning, have our family, have our friends, have a community like this where we can be with one another. It's special. And naskamwin is great gratitude. We forget that at times. When we're grateful, we can attract more things to be grateful in our life. Sometimes we get too stressed and we forget that. So my mom sacrificed a lot for myself, my siblings, to allow us to continue to be dreamers.